India is currently home to one of the largest youth populations in history. Hundreds of millions of people are entering adulthood simultaneously, creating a demographic footprint so massive it defines the country's future trajectory. This chart highlights a stark disconnect. While the bar for the youth population reaches into the hundreds of millions, the secondary bar, representing their actual seat at the table in traditional political institutions, is almost invisible by comparison. This generation is navigating a landscape of rising living costs and systemic unemployment. For many, the transition from education to the workforce is defined by canceled exams and a job market that feels increasingly out of reach. Meanwhile, the expensive, traditional machinery of Indian politics continues to operate on a massive scale. These rallies and campaigns are designed for a different era, often failing to address the specific anxieties of a struggling 20-something. The result is a vast demographic that feels politically homeless. They aren't necessarily aligned with the ruling parties or the opposition. They are simply waiting for a platform that acknowledges their reality. This silent vacuum represents a volatile powder keg of unchanneled frustration. The lack of traditional engagement doesn't indicate a lack of interest. It marks a group waiting for a different kind of spark. That spark appeared during a Supreme Court hearing. Media reports began circulating remarks attributed to the Chief Justice that inadvertently associated certain system critics and unemployed activists with cockroaches. While the Chief Justice later clarified that his comments were misinterpreted and directed at those with fake credentials, the internet had already moved. Outrage spread across social platforms before the legal clarification could even hit the news cycle. The reaction bypassed traditional protest channels entirely. It mutated instantly into digital content, moving from angry comments to viral memes in a matter of hours. This rapid shift from a single legal controversy into a mass movement happened so fast that traditional institutions had no time to respond. It showed how quickly a decentralized digital culture can take control of a narrative. Digital strategist Abhijit Dipke leaned into the absurdity, inverting the insult into a badge of identity. He launched the Cockroach Janta Party, turning a term of derision into a rallying cry for the overlooked. Biologically, cockroaches are ultimate survivors. They thrive in harsh environments, adapt to hostility, and keep reappearing despite attempts to eliminate them. For young Indians facing a broken exam system and a stagnant job market, that metaphor of the unkillable survivor felt accurate. It mirrored the resilience required just to navigate their daily lives. The movement's strategy is visible in this flowchart. It starts with an absurd meme hook, the kind of content that thrives on social algorithms. That engagement then drives viewers down into the secondary node, hard data on unemployment and systemic failure. As the meme is shared, the algorithm amplifies the package, creating a feedback loop where the joke spreads serious socioeconomic critiques. Adopting the cockroach identity is a response to a system that already feels fundamentally absurd. When reality feels like a joke, satire becomes the most effective way to point out what's broken. Traditional parties invest massive amounts of capital into physical infrastructure and branded campaign vans to project power. CJP, by contrast, achieved millions of followers with a budget of zero. They utilized the native language of Gen Z, sarcasm, and self-deprecation. This allowed the movement to spread through social networks in ways that traditional digital war rooms couldn't predict or counter. Within these memes, they carried a sincere manifesto. Demands for education reform and institutional accountability were packaged inside satirical jokes, making serious policy critiques highly shareable. This presents a unique challenge for the political establishment. Because the movement is a decentralized meme ecosystem, there is no central leader to target and no physical headquarters to regulate. In an era defined by political fatigue, humor has become a high-efficiency delivery mechanism. It allows complex frustrations to bypass traditional gatekeepers and reach a massive, receptive audience. However, there is a limit to digital momentum. Moving from internet satire to actual governance requires massive funding, local organization, and a complex legal framework. There is a significant gap between online follower counts and a physical vote. These electronic voting machines represent a structural reality memes alone cannot navigate. Viral movements often disappear as quickly as they arrive. Without sustained, on-the-ground networks, digital energy rarely translates into long-term political stability. But the long-term survival of the cockroach Janta Party is less important than what it revealed. It proved that a massive segment of the population is deeply engaged and looking for a way to be heard. The movement has exposed a generation that is no longer content with the traditional political script. Until the underlying issues of unemployment and systemic distrust are addressed, decentralized satire will remain their most effective tool for demand.